There's an old saying, curiosity killed the cat, but it could easily apply to termites as well. If you look around your house for signs of these small insects, you might see discarded wings, or perhaps notice that wooden furniture appears to be dissolving into thin air. You might think termites are related to ants because of their habit of swarming in large numbers. However, even though they share some similarities, these two groups are not very closely related. Instead, termites are more closely related to cockroaches. In this episode, we will take a closer look at these strange creatures and find out what exactly is going on in their seemingly simple minds. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are termites? Well, termites are a group of social insects, and social insects are those insects that live in groups called colonies. Members of a colony are organized in different layers and work together to achieve common goals. Termites are among the earliest insects to evolve this complex social structure. You may have heard that termites are also called white ants. But despite this common name, termites are not related to ants at all. In fact, they may even attack each other. Their only real connection is that they are both insects. Historically, scientists classified termites in the order Isoptera, which means equal wings, referring to the fact that the forewings and hindwings of termites are the same size. However, about 50 years ago, researchers hypothesized that termites were actually closely related to certain wood-eating cockroaches. Back then, DNA evidence was unavailable, so scientists based their hypothesis solely on morphology. They argued that since termites and these particular cockroaches shared many anatomical features, including their straight antennae, broad heads, and flat thoraxes, they should belong to the same group. Although termites and these cockroaches looked very different overall, they had enough similarities to convince most scientists that termites should be classified as a type of cockroach instead of their own distinct order. More recently, some researchers have suggested that we should treat termites as a single family, the Termitidae, within the order Blattodea, which contains cockroaches. Most scientists, however, do not agree with this idea and prefer a less drastic approach. These scientists still classify termites in the order Isoptera, but they now consider termites to be a subgroup of true cockroaches rather than a separate group altogether. Termites are found all over the world, and there are over 200 species. Two of the most common types of termites are the subterranean termite and the winged black termite. Subterranean termites live in the ground and build tunnels to reach their food source. Meanwhile, winged black termites are the ones that fly around in swarms. When they emerge from their underground colonies, the swarming males dig burrows in the soil, allowing the females to crawl through. Once the females are safely inside their new homes, the males dig another hole and fly back to the original colony to get more mates. Now let's see what's happening inside a termite colony. Termite colonies contain members of 3 different castes: the soldiers, the workers, and the reproductive individuals. Now before we go any further, just remember that not every termite colony is made up of these exact members. In some colonies, the soldiers and the reproductive members are absent. In others, there may be other non-reproductive members not mentioned here, and yet in others, there may be a 4th caste of soldiers and reproductives. Let's first focus on the soldier and the worker castes. Even though the soldiers and workers look alike, they are actually different. The soldiers have bigger heads, longer legs, and larger jaws. Both soldiers and workers are sterile, meaning they cannot reproduce. The workers make up about 70 to 80% of a colony and have small bodies and fully developed limbs. They don't have wings, unlike the reproductive members of the colony. The workers do everything necessary for the survival of the colony. They forage for food, process the food, build and repair the nest, transport eggs and larvae from one place to another, feed the young, and absorb water. To make their nests, workers mix food with soil or wood particles to create a sticky mud. They use this mud to build chambers for the colony, as well as tunnels that connect the chambers. In Africa, some species build mound nests that rise more than 10 meters above the ground. These termite mounds are so tall and wide that they resemble miniature fortresses. They have a central core of tunnels where the king and queen live. Surrounding the core are chambers for the workers and soldiers. If a termite colony is under attack, the workers can retreat to the center of the mound, which is protected by soldiers. Speaking of the soldiers, they are derived from workers and are generally less numerous. Their main job is to guard the colony. The soldiers have developed mandibles or mouthparts that act as weapons. They use these weapons to cut holes in the nest, allowing fresh air to circulate throughout. Soldiers also defend the colony against predators, such as anteaters, which prey on termite colonies. Some termite species can spray an irritating white liquid from glands near their jaws. This chemical weapon can stun an attacker, giving the colony time to respond. Soldiers rely on workers to feed them because they have very small mouths, which are not good for gathering food. Now let's talk about the reproductive members of the colony. Every termite colony has one king and one queen, although some colonies have multiple kings or queens. The king and the queen mate for life. The queen is the center of the colony. Her presence ensures the colony's survival. Without her, the colony would collapse. She has a small head and a large abdomen that can grow 12 to 15 centimeters long. These are some very sexy stats. The queen's abdomen contains highly developed reproductive organs. The queen can live up to 10 years, but she doesn't start laying eggs right away. At first, the queen focuses on growing her abdomen. After 4 to 5 years, her reproductive organs become fully functional. From then on, she lays thousands of eggs per day. The eggs hatch into male and female termites. The males mate with the queen, and the females develop into new queens. Males usually die after mating, but new queens stay in the colony, helping to ensure its continued success. Termites play an important role in nutrient cycling. They break down dead plant material, recycle its nutrients, and release them back into the ecosystem. Like many insects, termites are cold-blooded, so they depend on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. They usually nest in warm locations, such as in rotting logs or in the soil. Sometimes they need to keep their environment cool. For example, when the dry season comes, termites dig burrows in the soil to escape the heat. Now let's talk about what these guys eat. As you may have already guessed, termites mainly eat wood. This is because their mouth parts are adapted to chew and grind cellulose, the main component of wood. Cellulose is one of the most abundant organic compounds on Earth, but it's really hard to digest. Most animals can't eat it, but termites can. That's because they carry microbes that help them break down the tough material. Inside the termite gut, there are thousands of protozoa, single-celled organisms that secrete enzymes capable of breaking down cellulose into sugars. The termites absorb the sugars and use them for nutrition. Interestingly, no other animal has been observed to use protozoa to digest cellulose. Termites use enzymes to break down wood. It seems logical that they would also use enzymes to break down their own waste. But in reality, they excrete solid feces. Apparently, they swallow their urine to reabsorb the nitrogen and other useful substances. Termites are sometimes considered pests because they can cause serious damage to buildings, wooden bridges, and other man-made structures. They also attack crops such as sugarcane, rice, wheat, and cotton. In tropical and subtropical regions, termite damage can cost millions of dollars each year. Now let's take a closer look at termite intelligence. Termites are some of the most studied social insects because of their social complexity. Although termites are not directly related to bees or ants, they are considered true social insects along with them. This is because termite colonies are highly coordinated. Members of a colony maintain a nutritional balance and an energy flow. They also maintain a suitable microclimate within the nest, defend themselves against predators, and ensure reproduction. All of these tasks must be performed correctly and in a timely manner to ensure the survival of the colony. This highly coordinated social behavior allows scientists to study these insects and learn more about how intelligence arises in social insects. For example, termites navigate by following pheromone trails. A pheromone is a chemical substance released into the environment by an animal that influences the behavior of other individuals of the same species. Imagine you're a termite worker whose job is to collect food. You set off from the nest and begin searching for cellulose. When you find something to eat, you release a pheromone that attracts other workers to come and get some of the delicious snack. Together, you break it down and carry pieces of it back to the nest. Pheromones help termites recognize each other and communicate while they are far from the nest. However, when the colony is under attack, termites use sound instead of pheromones to communicate. Researchers believe that termites produce sounds by stridulation, rubbing one body part against another. Sounds produced during an alarm are high-pitched and fast. Subterranean termites also produce a low-frequency rumble when attacked. This rumble may help to coordinate defensive behaviors colony-wide. Scientists are still investigating termite communication. They use various approaches to record and analyze the sounds termites make. One way is to place a microphone next to a termite nest. This allows researchers to listen to what's going on inside. Another method involves creating a controlled environment where scientists can observe termites and record their sounds. Using these methods, researchers hope to learn more about how termites communicate and defend their colonies. This is just one example of how fascinating termites are. They are one of the most successful groups of insects on Earth. They have existed for over 25 million years and are found everywhere. Termites continue to amaze scientists and provide a window into the evolution of social behavior and intelligence. If you have a topic you want us to cover in a future episode, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.